es la voz de LA. It's Laguna Galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and Will Kuntz we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell the haters shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of Laguna Galaxiana, a special episode of Laguna Galaxiana because it is a simulcast with the Nag Boys. And today, it's a brand new hope as the Galaxy embark on a brand new adventure in search of the League's Cup trophy, starting with tomorrow's tournament opener, a home matchup against Club Tijuana on Thursday, July 31st, that LA needs to win just to keep pace. We'll be joined by the fine gentlemen from News Across the Galaxy for another edition of El Último Sueño, the third of its kind. We'll dive into their thoughts on the season so far, our League's Cup expectations in the face of new rules, take a quick look at the Galaxy's group opponents, and discuss whether the Galaxy needs to win this trophy to consider the season saved. Plus, did the canceled game in Houston set the Galaxy up for failure already in the League's Cup? All of that and more coming up on Laguna Galaxiana. But before I go any further, I do want to add that this podcast is always made with love. Always. For all of you LA Galaxy fans and MLS fans and League's Cup fans and international soccer fans, you have a home here. If it's going down to the soccer world, we're going to be talking about it. And yeah, I guess that leads me to me and my co-host. I'm Rob Halon. If this is your first time here, thanks so much. You can find my written work at Extra Time Talk and the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And my co-host is here, El Papá de Natita. First and foremost, that's the most important thing. So I'm just going to leave it at that today. Ananda Kirana, Papa, it's a chance for a trophy. And it's you know, if the Galaxy somehow win it, it's going to be the best trophy that there is out there, right?
If we win it, sure. Until then, to some people, Rob, this is still a Mickey Mouse Cup, and it'll be interesting. I still want to definitely want to hear the thoughts of the Nag Boys and people in chat in terms of how they're thinking about this tournament. But just like the Club World Cup, I'm going to predict that myself. In general, I think I'm going to poo-poo it until I see the games. I see how exciting they are, how fun they are. Even I've watched a couple of today's games, Papa, and those are some pretty fun games. So, but a trophy's a trophy, silverware is silverware. You can only play what's in front of you. And right now, this is really the only thing we have to play for, except for that one-off game later in the year. So we've got to go all in, right? It's a full send. We have to take this tournament seriously, no matter if you think it's a Mickey Mouse Cup or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by nature of what's happening with the season, this is a chance at silverware. This is a chance at the Champions Cup. I mean, if we're talking about a Galaxy team that needs to be taken seriously, then the best teams on the continent are playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And so the Galaxy need to be taking part in that in some way, shape, or form by any means necessary. And this is a route to do that. So they definitely need to take this tournament seriously. Well, we're gonna get into a lot of why and why not, and different viewpoints and all that kind of stuff about the League's Cup. But first, we want to say that yes, this is a special episode, simulcast with the Nag Boys. So hello to everybody watching us live on the Nag YouTube channel on this simulcast. Go ahead and subscribe if you're there. Go ahead and hit the like, show those boys some love, and as well, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe on this channel, this humble little pod. If you have something really, really pressing or really important to get off your chest, and you just absolutely just need to get it out, it's just like this fire burning inside of you, you can go ahead and do so with those super chats, and we'll go ahead and answer your question or read your statement out. We might even debate it. Who knows? And it'll be a good time doing it with the Nag boys. So, Ananda, I think that kind of wraps up the this like housekeeping, right? I mean, what you got on that housekeeping, dog?
All I got to say is, as always, follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. And you can find us on all of our socials at Laguna Galaxiana. And again, guys, Rob's going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a modified schedule as we cover Leagues Cup based off of where the schedule is. So for all that, go ahead and tune into all of our socials. We will plug stuff and announce stuff on both X and IG. That's where we're the most active. So go ahead and check us out there. But of course, if you subscribe and you hit those notification bells, you will know when streams like this pop up with an Ag Boy. So go ahead and do that. Smash the likes. Whoever's out there is our Prime Minister of Likes in the chat. Go ahead and lead up the crowd there. And of course, papá, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Y bienvenidos a una edición especial de Laguna Galaxiana en este caso.
Eso.
Because we have another Último Sueño. And it's always fun to talk to these guys, man. So let's get out some bits and bobs, then we'll bring the two boys on to talk about the Galaxy and their chances in Leagues Cup.
Orale, here's another bits and bob here. We were recently on a couple of different podcasts, and so we want to go ahead and shout those cats out. Peyton from Talking Galaxy and Galaxy Buzz, mad love, shout out to you. I'm still waiting for that shit. I'm gonna fill in some vitamins, baby. I'm good for it. And then we also were with Jose Bromigos and on Goals TV's transfer video, which was a lot of fun. Ananda had a Brujo moment. I had a Brujo moment. It was a good time. Go ahead and check them out on those channels. Go ahead and show them some love. In terms of announcements, Ananda, we have one really that we could just base this whole entire pod around today. And it's really look, I mean, if we're talking about this in terms of like, movie, classical, good and evil, like this man is all that is good with the Galaxy community and just he embodies everything nice about it. Happy birthday to Don Raul. Just man, shining light in the darkness. Just always sitting on him with all his rings and just been there as a constant presence for the good moments and the bad and leading the way in the light, man. It's just nothing else to say. Ananda, anything to add here about Don Raul?
He is, like his name says, he is a Don. Absolute G. So that's it, man.
There we go. It is the 12th year anniversary of my fellow countryman Chucho Benitez's death. You may ask, what is the Galaxy link here? Well, I'll tell you. Chucho was cut down in his prime. All of a sudden, killed over and died on the field. And he was, I believe at the moment he was in Saudi Arabia, but he had stops with America and Santos Laguna. And one of the Galaxy's opponents coming up is Santos Laguna. So anyway, if you're Ecuadorian, this one is big. I mean, he had a bright future and he could have been, great in that Ecuadorian national team. But anyway, rest in peace, rest in power, Chucho Benitez. And Ananda was talking about this earlier. A quick note on all the, changes to the schedule coming up here with the Leagues Cup. So Thursday, obviously, tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this in your own multiverse. Tomorrow, Thursday, the 31st, we'll be at the digs, obviously, covering this match. So there will be no podcast, which is why we're getting together with the Nag Boys tonight. And we're going to be doing a quick live post-match presser and instant reaction. And then on Monday, August 4th, you'll get a Cruz Azul match reaction and a Santos Laguna mini match preview. next Thursday, the 7th, you'll get post-match coverage and another instant reaction and live post-match presser. And that should take us through the League's Cup. I mean, and then we'll go ahead and update you guys after that. We'll probably be back to a regularly scheduled Laguna Galaxiana good time jamboree after that. So speaking of good time jamborees, we want to bring back this man. Just one bit of the amazing cocktail known as Nag, and just I mean, when I say cocktail, it's because this man is intoxicating, and first we're gonna bring him back, and then we're gonna bring back his compatriot. First, let's show some love. So B loves. Welcome back, Papa.
Hey, how's it going, guys? What cocktail am I though? It has to be the spiciest one, right?
Oh man, you're that spicy mango marg, man.
Ooh, I love that.
That fireball.
Yeah, no, that's fun. Now we got to play like, oh, what cocktail am I? That'll be a good time. Maybe we'll play like what cocktail is this Galaxy player? So
that'd be pretty fun, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, automatically you're just like, all right, what is John McCarthy? That man is a straight glass bottle of Budweiser, right there.
Nah, he's a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I like that one. I like that one.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes.
I did want to mention something. You mentioned Don Raul, and there's a lot of LA Galaxy fans that get jerseys without players' numbers. If you were to put a name on your jersey, make sure it's Don Raul's.
Yes.
He's been here since day one. He has all the rings, been for all of them. So let's show that man some love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I've already told this story that way, but Don Raul met my wife in the parking lot at the Digs. They were trying to like hurry her out of the parking lot. Like security was like, like hurry up. My wife has bilateral hip dysplasia, right? So she can't really walk too fast, and they were just like trying to like move her along. So Don Raul came along, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing to my sobrina? What are you doing
Straight
to my niece?"
G, that's G right there.
G.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, what
right
are you doing to my sobrina?" And they were like, "Oh, this is your family, Don Raul?" And he's like, "Yes, that's my family. What are you doing?" And my wife was, telling me how eternally grateful she is to Don Raul, but that's just off the field, everything that he does for the team, that's like that's on the field stuff. So like I said, I mean, he just
un don de todos los niveles, papá.
For me, the best part of this community, and it's great that we have those institutions and that piece of history. One of the guys that could tell us a little bit more about Don Raul's impact is your compatriot on NAG. Let's go ahead and bring him on now.
There he is.
Edgar Nags.
There he is.
What's up, man?
Guys?
Welcome back, man.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me on. It's always an honor to be here with you guys. I really appreciate it. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. Don Raul. What can I say about him? I think I might have mentioned it before. I don't know if it was on our show or on your show, but I've shared this story so many times. Just what a wonderful human being he is. I think it was 1998. Yeah, 98. And it was my second year covering the LA Galaxy, and I remember I was doing my rounds in the dressing room. Back then, you could go up to any player and start asking questions, which was really cool. That's why I was able to make friends with so many of them and still keep some of those friendships to this day. So I remember Galaxy had just come out with their 98 kit. I was like, this is really nice. Yeah, I want to get myself one of these, but I don't want to buy a replica. I want to get the authentic on the field, right?
The player issued.
So I remember Don Raul. I knew Don Raul was already the kit man. So I went up to him and I asked him, I was wondering, do you know where I could buy one of the authentic kits? Does the team sell them? Is there like a specific place where I can buy one? And he just kind of winked at me. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And he left, right? And I was interviewing Danny Peña at the time, who was the Galaxy defender. And all of a sudden, I feel like a little tug. I had a gym bag where I had all my stuff, and I looked back, and then he opened up my gym bag and he stuffed like a Galaxy kit into my gym bag. And Danny Pena looks at me and he's like, "Yeah." He just kind of nodded, and I was like, "Oh, what?" And Raul was just like, and just like walked away, and I was like,
Such a
"What?"
G.
What a legend! That's legend
And
stuff.
yeah, when I got to the tunnel at the Rose Bowl, I'm like looking at it, I was like, "Oh my God!" It was still like in the packaging and everything. It was like authentic player issue, LA Galaxy kit. I was like, "Oh my God!" And the next time I saw him, I was like, I feel terrible. How much do I owe you?" He's like, "Nothing. I don't know what you're talking about."
Damn.
Yeah.
Such a G, dude. Like, can you imagine like how much chisme he knows, bro? Like how much behind the scenes, like how much dust ups, like do Zlatan and Du Bois really hate each other? Like,
Oh my God.
how in Landon and David Beckham went in I mean, just he knows all the chisme, but that's the amazing thing about him is that like he's such an ethical, integral person that he'll never divulge any of that, man. Like he's just like so trusted. I mean, anyway, we can be here all day talking about him, and we have Leagues Cup to talk about as well, which he would probably say tiene que ponerle ganas. So happy birthday to you, Don Raul. Hopefully you were surrounded by friends and family. Guys, last time we were with you, I think it was at the beginning of the season, and it was
a funny episode.
Pre San Diego, and everyone was like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
I do not want to listen to those receipts. I do not want to listen to those
That's
receipts.
a big receipt right there, dude.
Man.
There's no way.
Stairway to 7. Everybody was like, 7th incoming, right? So, one word reaction to the Galaxy's season so far. Edgar, you're up.
Unspeakable.
Damn.
It never happened.
B-Loves.
It never happened.
Yeah, no, like, si no me acuerdo, no pasó. B-Loves, what you got on that one word?
Oops.
Yeah, no, it's an anomaly this year for damn sure. Well, like I said, we saw you guys at the beginning of the season. Galaxy fans had high hopes. Everybody on that podcast, us included, we're just going off about how the Galaxy might pick up another one. We, yes, the losses were a hit, but we had some interesting young players coming in. Obviously, it hasn't worked out so far. Like I said, it's been an anomaly. We can't really quantify it. It's been a bunch of different things. But, short answer, in your own words, what do you think has been the main reason for the Galaxy's form this year? B-Loves, let's go with you this time first, because we went with Edgar last time first.
I mean, I think it's unfair to ask for a short statement because there's so many things that's going on with the LA Galaxy, from not having their best player to players having things in the back of their mind that doesn't let them perform to their capacity. If I were to want to put it in short, it's just been chaos. From not having players to not having the form, it's mind-boggling. It's to say the least, because we don't know why they're this bad. We've seen the tactical numbers in the last year where they were bad in aerial, but now this year they're just bad in everything. And how does that transfer from being the champion to, this is the longest hangover for a championship team, just to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's been really tough. It's been really tough to watch.
Do you feel like somebody put Santeria on these fools or what?
Well, I don't know. We were doing, we've seen a lot of like the social media stuff where like, oh, el huevo, bring, curen al equipo porque we're shit, right? We need that. We need everything. We need the sages. We need all that stuff to expel whatever bad luck we have. And yeah, it's not, I can't really explain it, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, a bunch of people always ask me like, what's up with the Galaxy? And I'm like, damn, like I can give you like just like a really quick answer, or we could be here all day. Just like, how much time do you have, brother? Let's have you heard let's read from the book of Greg Vanny really quick. Turn to chapter 3, verse 1. Edgar, what do you think, man? Like BLF said, it's kind of hard to put it in a short statement, but best you can. What do you think is going on there? I mean, how to explain it, right?
Well, he mentioned that he thought it was chaos, but if it really was chaos, then that means like there's no rhyme or reason or anything. And so at some point, Galaxy would have won a match early on in the season and then followed that up with a horrible result. So it would have been all over the place. Um, those seasons when everything has to fall into place for you to be successful or win a championship, like keeping your players healthy, making sure everybody's on the right page, making sure that everybody is doing all the small little things that you can't quantify on a stat sheet. Well, this is the opposite of that. This is like, it's like if you had a list and you put down like everything that's gonna go wrong, and it just so happens that everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. I know we always talk about Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah, I was about to say Murphy's.
Yeah.
It's always it's always a hypothetical, right? Or you say it like with a sense of irony, but when it really does happen in sequential, in a sequence like this, it's eyebrow raising. It's kind of creepy. You kind of get like a little chill on your spine. You're like, wow, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. And I mean, like there's 3 matches in this season where I was just like, I'm done.
Only 3? Only 3?
No, I mean, like, no, but there's 3 matches that encapsulate everything. You can look at these 3 matches, and they were all in a series. It was the match against Kansas City, the match against Philly, and the match against Kansas City, New York, and Philly. Because you had one where the defense actually played their asses off, except for that one moment where Maya got the own goal, right? And then limited Kansas City to no shots at all, and they still lost. You follow it up by the red wedding in New York. They get massacred, right? And everything just went absolutely sideways. And then
I will always remember that little boy.
Right? You still hear him at night when you close your eyes.
Man, he followed us for like a mile saying F the Galaxy, bro. Like,
that's straight up New York, though.
Hey.
That's straight up New York.
Those good New Jersey boys.
And his dad was like big up and up too. He was like, yeah. Like, he was probably drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon as well.
Yeah, we had to take the L. We had to take the L massively that night. But yeah.
And then the one that where I was like, okay, I'm done. It was the one against Philly where they're up 2-0, and I was with my wife and my son at a Cub Scout event near a farmers market out here where we live. My son is a Cub Scout, so we were there. And I was following the game on my phone, and I was like, oh, they're up 2-0 at the half. I think this is it, boys. I think this is it. I think, they got what it takes. We had done a preview with our buddy Jimmy King, who covers the Philadelphia Union. He was saying that the Union was ripe for a loss against Galaxy. So I was like, it's happening. But then as quickly as, like, you get excited, here comes the second half, and right away, boom, boom, like Philly gets 2 back. And I remember I'm in this chat with some people, and I'm like, dear God, if they're gonna lose this game, please let it be like sometime early on, because I would hate it if these guys lost it to death. That would rip my heart out. And what happened? They lost it to death. And I remember watching that, and I never get really upset about losses. I'm pretty like, all right, whatever. But this, I remember being really upset and really angry, and having to actually like take a step away and kind of compose myself before going about the rest of my day. But I remember just being really upset, and at one point I even like shed a tear. I was like, this is frustrating. And that's when I knew that it's over, season's done, and they could try to mount a comeback, but you can't come back from that. That was just terrible.
Yeah.
Ananda, when Philly happened, you texted me, and what did I text you back?
Something about like you should have listened to me or something like that. Like basically, and I told you so moment.
Yeah, Nanda hits me up around the 2-0 around the half, and he's like, oh man,
yeah, or wait till the end of the game or something like that.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, because like I said, I'd already seen Orlando happen. I mean,
yeah,
it's been that kind of year. But like I said at the top, the Galaxy has a brand new hope. They have a chance to not wipe the season clean, but perhaps call the season somewhat of a success if they win a trophy. Maybe we'll talk about that and how you guys feel about that statement. But how are you guys feeling now about the League's Cup in its third year? I mean, it's is it still that Mickey Mouse trophy? We had already people in chat talking about the U.S. Open Cup and how they prefer that. I mean, truth, so do I. But the Leagues Cup is what we have. It's changed again. Are you more excited about it than before? Let's go with Edgar.
Bryant. Okay. No, I don't like the Leagues Cup at all. I know some people are saying, "How dare you, Edgar? You know, it's an opportunity to play against Liga MX." That's what the CONCACAF Champions Cup is for, and the odd exhibition match here and there. I don't like the Leagues Cup for many different reasons, and I can tell you why in a second. Because first of all, I don't like the fact that MLS ruined everybody's schedule by having to shoehorn this tournament into the middle of the summer, into where it's already a very congested summer. Think about how many tournaments are going on already, and where your attention is being directed to, and all of a sudden you got to, oh yeah, there's the Leagues Cup, right? And because of the Leagues Cup, we had those really weird scheduling conflicts at the beginning of the season. Teams are playing 3 matches in a week. Galaxy had to play 7 matches in May, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Everybody was getting strung out, and then you get this tournament, and then you look at it and you're like, okay, well, what's it gonna do for us? You would think with so much moving of the schedule around, that would at least give enough time for these games to happen. But you play one, and literally a few days later, you got to play another one. And then a few days later, another one. You don't even get a chance to breathe. So, yeah, I don't like it. I also like the fact that the Liga MX teams are having to travel from Mexico to travel and play in matches across the U.S. and Canada. That's not fair to them, man.
Yeah, it'd be more fun if the MLS teams travel to Mexico as well, right?
I agree with that too.
And I just think that's it's only fair. And on top of that, like I said, I just think it's absolutely a cash grab. When I want to see Liga MX versus these two leagues play each other, Liga MX and MLS, I want it to be in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which I think has history. It has more weight to it. And I love the U.S. Open Cup. I would rather LA Galaxy be playing in the U.S. Open Cup, which is spread out over the course of a season, so it doesn't really interfere with your players and your time management. So that's how I feel about it. As far as how I think Galaxy is gonna fare in this, well, it's an opportunity for a trophy, right? But it's not that easy. If you look at the format, it's like a mosh pit.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we hear Edgar. We hear that you definitely hate on the Leagues Cup. We'll be expecting the diss track very soon. You're not a fan.
The ether to the Leagues Cup.
Exactly right. B-Loves, what about you, man? Have your feelings on the Leagues Cup changed at all since its inception? Do you think it's improved at all? More excited about it than the first or second year? What you got? What are your feelings towards this tournament?
As far as this tournament in this last couple years, I haven't been interested. The only reason why I'm interested now is because the LA Galaxy is. Can I cuss?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
The LA Galaxy is shit. It doesn't seem like we're going to be able to compete in league, and this is an opportunity to get back into the Champions League, which is a big club thing, which I mentioned in the last time that I was on with you guys, that if you're going to be a big club, you have to take this tournament serious and try to compete for it and get another title. Now, I do agree with a lot of what Edgar said, that the U.S. Open Cup has way more tradition in what it is MLS and what U.S. soccer in general means to us who have seen this league grow from its inception. Aside from that, it is a cash grab. Except aside from this year, because I do want them to compete this year, only because they could get back to Champions League. Aside from that, I think it's just a cash grab. It's a waste of time for a lot of the clubs, especially how Edgar mentioned that Liga MX doesn't receive anybody at their home. I think that's a very unfair scheduling, how they do it. And so, I mean, just follow the money. That's exactly what Don Garber has done with this tournament. And not just that, a lot of games that could go wrong for any team that's trying to compete at any level, right? We already know Riqui was out with us, but let's say we go to Cincinnati to try to compete. Let's say Evander goes down. Their season is done. Let's say Inter Miami, Messi, and Suarez go down. Their season is done, right? So it's too many matches for MLS to try to compete in both tournaments, especially if you want to like create some history within the club, right? So like a Miami, for example, they're new. Having this many games is gonna cap you what players you could play because they're probably not with fresh legs and stuff like that. So it's a lot of all that, and that's what kind of turns me off about the tournament. Except for now, because I want them to compete.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
another thing I wanted to, sorry,
go ahead.
just real quick.
Go ahead,
another thing I wanted to add that I don't like about it is the fact that Liga MX teams just started their season. They're 3 games in, and you know there's a certain rhythm to you know their scheduling, and all of a sudden they're forced to play 3 games in a short period of time. And is there any guarantee that some other important players aren't going to come down with injury, and then your season is hijacked right there? It's over. I mean, God forbid something happens to some player.
But injury worries are you know a constant throughout. You know, yes, congestion plays a factor, but you know it's part of sport. Is you know potential injury.
Could I throw another wrench in there before Ananda goes on?
Go for it.
What about the opposite thought about that? What if there's people that say, you know what, these are the type of games you have to, if you want to be a big club, like they do in Europe, they play a lot of soccer out there. They play a lot of matches. If you want to be a big club, you better play all these matches year round. You can compete if you are a top club. Because there are probably people out there thinking the same thing. Like if you are like in America or Chivas, will have tradition of hundreds of years.
Right.
You play in these tournaments, you need to perform because you are the top club. It doesn't matter who you put out on the pitch and all the X factors that go around playing league, cups, and all this. Is that a fair assessment from the opposite train of thought?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, let's look at results tonight, or at least one of them, and we'll get into more results in a moment. But I mean, Real Salt Lake beat America in penalties, was beating them 2-1, and America scored in the 97th minute. I mean, that's a result that's going to reverberate in Mexico, right? I mean, it's not like, you know, and no shade to RSL, but it's not like, you know, they were beaten by Philly or Inter Miami or, you know, any of the clubs at the top of the table right now in MLS. It was against RSL, right? And RSL should have won in regulation. I mean, so I mean, it's big in that result. In that, you're right, B-Loves, that these big clubs are that are in Liga MX, it's for them, it's a big tournament because by virtue of we have to win these, because if we don't, we're going to get like absolutely crucified in the press in Mexico. And you bet they're going to get crucified in the press tomorrow. Club America is going to be on the headlines of every diario in Mexico, right? I mean, they lost to RSL. What are they thinking? I mean, it's basically like they're already knocked out by virtue of the format. Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. But I mean, you guys have talked about how you haven't really liked it too much, but with this result here and with last night's result, what are you thinking? No excitement at all? No, like, I mean, the first night was bad for MLS clubs, but tonight was pretty good. B-Loves, does that move the needle at all for you?
It, like I mentioned earlier, the team sucks right now in league. Might as well go for this one. And if there was any hope of seeing any type of result, well, for me personally, when I watch MLS, there's certain trends, right? Of Saturday, there's a certain trend of what teams win, whether it's the home team or the away team, and by the score. Last night in Leagues Cup, MLS didn't do too bad. Today, it was a positive. Can tomorrow be another positive? And I see it in that aspect because, of course, the LA Galaxy is not too hot right now in MLS, and this could be one of the tournaments that wakes everybody up, and especially because I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but there's been a roster sheet out, and there's a certain injured player that's available for this match, and so maybe that gives the fans more excitement to try to watch the LA Galaxy maybe perform well in this tournament, which I want them to win. I'm throwing it out there once again.
Yeah. No, I mean, we absolutely can talk about that injured player. We'll definitely touch that in a moment. But the results today, I mean, I think they're pretty significant because last night, yes, the MLS teams didn't do too great, but today they really showed up and showed out. I mean, Portland beats San Luis 4-0, Inter Miami 2-1 over Atlas Necaxa, one of the Mexican teams that wins, beats Atlanta 3-1. Pumas wins in penalties over Orlando 4-3, and Minnesota beats Querétaro 4-1. And then, like I said, that RSL result over Club America is huge. They're huge because there's little margin for error. There's new rules this year, a new format that make this tournament and any kind of misstep basically like a dead tournament. So if you misstep at the beginning of the tournament, you basically have two rubber dead matches, right? There's 36 teams total, 18 from each league. There's no more groups this year. The top three teams that perform well in this tournament do get that CONCACAF Champions Cup berth. And there's two rounds to this, guys. There's the phase one round, which obviously began yesterday, and the knockout round, which starts on August 19th and ends with the Leagues Cup final on August 31st. Obviously, we know the Galaxy has 3 opponents in round 1. All teams are going to play 3 matches against opponents from the opposite league. So MLS teams will play Liga MX teams, and then vice versa. There are no ties. So 3 points for a regulation win, 1 point for each team if the game is tied after 90 minutes, and an extra point for teams that win in a penalty shootout. And what I think kind of makes this interesting for me, guys, is that there's only 4 clubs from each league going through. So it really makes like I said, the standard and the margin for error very, very slim. And since it's done with points, it is a possibility that somebody could conceivably win all their games and still get knocked out. And if you're wondering about tiebreakers, it's in descending order: wins in regular time, goal differential, most goals allowed, fewest goals conceded, fewest points in the fair play table, and then a draw organized by Leagues Cup. And if it can't be settled there, they are going to a dance battle. Probably. Who knows?
I'm down.
Exactly, right? You're like, I'm gonna bust out them flares, son. And overall thoughts though on the new format. We know you don't love the tournament, but what do you think? Did they improve the format at all? Did they make it more elite?
Potter sure as hell doesn't love it. Says format's a convoluted mess.
I mean, it is a mess. It's just trying to smear lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig, right? I mean, there are some interesting matchups in there though. Like we just got off talking to Las Azulinas podcast, and they cover Cruz Azul, and we were talking about how on paper, right, especially before the season started, right, if you were to look at if the Leagues Cup schedule was released like early in the season or right before MLS season started, and you see on there you have LA Galaxy versus Cruz Azul, right? Cruz Azul obviously is the CONCACAF Champions Cup champions. LA Galaxy defending MLS Cup champions. Man, that's a marquee matchup, right? But in hindsight, you look at it like, damn. Yeah, but LA Galaxy has been doing okay in the last 5 matches. They've only had 1 loss, so maybe it's going to be something interesting. All right, Galaxy has a shot in at least 2 of those 3 matches that they're paired up against. But as far as the Leagues Cup is concerned, the nature of the tournament itself, that they had to do this, just goes to show you at the whole Mickey Mouse-ness of it, I guess, where it's like it's like this, like almost like a joke, like, oh, we're just gonna throw a bunch of teams together and we're gonna shake the bags and see who comes out, and that's the schedule right there. And only 4 from each side, hey, look how funny it is, interesting. So I don't know. I can't take it seriously if it's gonna be like that. And like I go back again to the whole like, well, what about playing in Liga MX? Away matches. But when you look at the social political climate right now, it's kind of it has its own hurdles too as well.
Yeah, for sure. We hadn't even thought of that angle, to be honest. But B-Loves, do you, based on what you know of the format and everything, does that change the outlook for you, the Galaxy's chances in this tournament, being that there's only 4 teams from MLS that go through, so that means Galaxy can't mess up.
So, to my understanding is that they want a final where there's a Liga MX team and an MLS team, and I think having that final, regardless if it is Leagues Cup, is something that everybody as a fan wants to see. So the Leagues Cup in general is not something that I would subscribe to frequently, but in this case, if it is going to be that type of format, then all in. I think at this point, especially since you're the defending champs in the LA Galaxy, I think, hey, put your big boy pants on and let's go to work. You only get 4 spots. You want to be one of them, and let's get it. I mean, what else do we have looking forward to, right? Are we going to get into playoffs this season? Maybe not. Is there no U.S. Open Cup?
Maybe not.
There's not. So this is the one. This is the one.
You know, the funny thing too is Greg talked about it today too. It's just like we've got to rewire our brain because, like, for example, I saw you clapping too, B-Loves, when we were reading off the MLS results, because obviously, like, we want our MLS teams to do well, but at the same, it's like, no, don't do well. The curve's got to come down. It's like taking a test, right? And like you want everyone to flunk the test so that the curve goes down, so that we can pass the test. And in this case, we don't want our MLS teams to do well so we can get out, because only 4 out of 18, we did the math yesterday, that's like between 20 and 25% of the teams go through to the next round. So that's what makes this tournament interesting. Greg talked about that too. We just have to kind of rewire our brains a little bit. But I think from a fan's perspective, I mean, we've been, at least most of the fan circles have been talking about them wanting to see how MLS stacks up against Liga MX competition, right? And I look at this comment by Pottermus. I think it's super interesting. This one here, it's a bit ridiculous. MLS versus Liga MX. Can't imagine the Premier League versus the Scottish Prem. Now this opens up a whole nother. This opens up a whole nother can of worms, though, with, like, in terms of the, you talked about the big clubs, B-Loves, like that goes to like whole roster rules and roster construction and salary cap and all that stuff. But if your premise is correct, then we definitely have to, do something for, I mean, all MLS clubs, in my opinion, but the big clubs, if you want them to play this many games in a calendar year, right, and take these tournaments seriously.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something to this real quick, because it's something I mentioned last season. Last year for Leagues Cup, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I still think that the worst MLS teams are way better than the worst Liga MX teams, and you see that, and you saw that in the tournament last year, where like the final four were MLS teams, and the results this year, it's still early on. We're still seeing some interesting results here and there. I mean, Necaxa just destroyed Atlanta United. Atlanta United is going through a nightmare season, though, so that's they're in a mess. I'm looking like Inter Miami beat Atlas, right? Pumas beat a pretty decent Orlando City team. Minnesota United destroyed Querétaro. And Portland Timbers, which is a really good team, beat San Luis. So I think the MLS teams are set up to do better. They're already in form in the middle of the season, so we expect them to do better. Like I said, a lot of these Liga MX teams, I don't know how badly they're going to want to pursue Liga MX, maybe a sense of pride, but they're just starting out, right? And they want to get back in gear with their tournament and with their actual tournament, Liga MX. So there's not that much of I don't think there's that much of a impetus for them to come in here and say, we're going to tear it down, unless
that's a good point.
They don't think they have a real shot in the regular season.
So what you're saying is that MLS is the Prem in Liga MX. Liga MX is
more like
is
the
that
Welsh
what you're
league,
saying,
right?
Edgar?
The Welsh Premier League.
Damn.
Damn.
Is that what you're saying, Edgar? Is that what you're saying right now at Laguna? Right now,
They're
at 9:45.
And on
they're
News
gonna
Galaxy.
they're gonna come for all of us, man. They're gonna come for all of
Oh
us, bro.
no.
Shout out to Adam who's hitting us up with the super chat. He says, "Who spoke for media availability today?" We had the Reverend Greg Vanny and the Apostle Diego Fagundes. And
I like that name.
We'll get to their remarks and everything here in a moment. But Edgar, you mentioned that you were on with Las Azulinas. What was your one big takeaway from that conversation with them regarding Cruz Azul?
Oh, they're very confident. That's one word that they kept repeating. How they feel very confident about Cruz Azul coming into this tournament. It's interesting, right? I asked them, how do you go from chasing and then winning a CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is like the pinnacle, right, in our region of the world, to like you gotta shift gears, and you're trying to get that Liga MX championship, which for Cruz Azul has always been kind of difficult. But then you have Leagues Cup, right? And they were like, we feel confident about our team. We think that adding another trophy to the to our honors it's a great opportunity, and they really do believe that Cruz Azul has a great shot at doing this. Obviously, they come in wearing that heavy weight, right, of being the regional champions. So they have that, but they're also under a new manager. And so they're saying how having transitioned from one manager to another manager to another manager kind of has its own challenges. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And maybe playing in this tournament will help answer some of those questions and also determine which players are able to step up in clutch situations. But again, these guys, they are the reigning CONCACAF Champions Cup champions. So they don't have to do anything to prove how good they are. But maybe it's just maintaining that hegemony, right? That look, we're the champs. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna stand, on business, and you're gonna see us, dominate.
Are they one of your favorites?
Cruz Azul, like I said, I really haven't paid much attention to this tournament. I really don't care, to be honest. But I would think that, coming in as the CONCACAF champions, yes, I think that they're definitely one of the favorites. But they don't have an easy path. They got to play Seattle, and then they got to play Galaxy, and I can't remember who they're playing in their third match at the top of my head right now. So
Colorado?
Seattle is not. Pardon?
Is it Colorado?
Colorado, yes, Colorado Rapids. Thank you. Yes, Seattle. When they last played each other, it was a score. I mean, they killed Seattle in the second leg of their Champions Cup, run. But in the first leg, which was in Seattle at Lumen Field, it was scoreless draw. So they understand that playing in Seattle is no easy task. And then LA Galaxy, the history. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see what I was talking about in our episode, but the history between Galaxy and Cruz Azul has been pretty one-sided. With one of those, it's been two times that they play each other in an official tournament. And the first time they faced each other was in 1997 CONCACAF Champions Cup final. So put that feather in your cap, Galaxy fans. After the first Galaxy season, Galaxy made it all the way to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. They were up to 0 early goals by Eduardo Hurtado. And then Cienfuegos went down with a horrible injury on a tackle. There was no card on that tackle. It should have been a card. He was hitting, the player didn't get carded. Cienfuegos was out of the game. Then everything fell apart. Galaxy gave up 5 goals, and then Jorge Campos scored one like in garbage time. But it didn't matter. They lost 5-3. I remember that was just it's such a difficult pill to swallow coming on the heels of having lost to DC United MLS Cup 96. But yeah, and then they played each other again later on, and also in the Champions Cup. And it hasn't gone well for LA Galaxy against Cruz Azul. So this is an opportunity to do something against this team. Why not? Let's do it, boys.
We have another. Yes, no, but you're right. Why not? Let's do it. I mean, those are my feelings, exactly. We have another super chat from Adam. He says, "Is Jesus Corona the starting goalkeeper for Cholos?" Shout out, Jesus Corona.
Yeah, he is. He's his name is Jesus de Corona, right? Chuy de Corona. Chuy Corona. Yeah, he is a goalkeeper. Well, what we learned from this last talk with the Las Solinas.
What I thought it was Rodriguez
For Cholos?
for Cholos.
Yeah, it looks like I was just looking it up right now. It looks like he started the last few matches. I think it's Joe Corona. That's his name? Joe Corona?
No, Joe Corona is a captain now,
former
right?
Galaxy player.
Former Galaxy.
Right.
Right.
Maybe he's got him mixed up. I'm not sure.
Yes, I believe I did, but no. Like I said, I thought it was Rodriguez that had started the last couple matches for Cholos. But we'll get more into that here in a second. How many points do the Galaxy need to get out of the knockout rounds? Guys?
Receipts.
All of
them.
We see the format being very, very difficult. So again, very little margin for error. Do they need all 9? Do they need at least 7?
Yes.
What do you think, Edgar? All of the above.
Oh my. Yeah, no, all of the above. Yeah. I was looking at the 3 matches, right, and I'm thinking which ones are the more possible results, and I think that Galaxy might just squeak one out over Tijuana, and they're gonna have a lot of issues with Cruz Azul, obviously, and then Santos is beatable.
Right.
A very optimistic, very naive, very bright-eyed, doe-eyed Edgar would say 7 points, boys. Right?
Well, with that voice and everything.
With that voice, yeah, like that. Oh, happy.
Yay!
But a very jaded, weary
2025 Edgar.
2025
Edgar, right? Especially after having gone through a very interesting June. I'm saying like, damn, 3 points.
But that's the variance of this team, right? It's like we don't know what LA Galaxy team is going to show up. Now, granted, we're at home. That's an advantage for us. We have to take advantage of that. There's no travel, so there's no excuses, right? I get you. Yeah. Good point.
Home?
No, good point, Bilas. But
right.
remember in that game last year, guys, against Chivas de Guadalajara, it was a very similar atmosphere like that, and I thought that was a really actually fun game to watch. Mitrovic masterclass in the penalty shootout. Now, it's funny because you guys were talking earlier about chaos. Let's not forget there's still chaos happening off the pitch, right? So I'm hoping that atmosphere kind of like lifts the crowd. B-Loves, I remember the last time I saw you, we were in section 200 watching that game, and it was a library, right?
Yeah.
Like those games have been, it's been a library at the Digs. Unfortunately, we have not made it a fortress. So I think that can work to our advantage, guys, in my opinion.
Well, we earlier we were asked about the presser and who spoke. Like I said, it was Reverend Greg and Apostle Diego. And Diego spoke first, and he kept on reiterating that don't get upset at me, Edgar. I'm just the messenger here. But he kept on reiterating that he really liked this tournament, and it was seguía diciendo que era muy bonito. Era muy bonito el torneo. And it was a chance for the Galaxy to play for that trophy, kind of play for that trophy and give their fans some joy, some happiness, but that it was an important tournament because only 4 teams go through, and so you had to be really elite to go through.
He's playing for my club. He better not say anything else, right? That's all I gotta say.
Well, so he says to be successful, they have to be ready, finish chances, and try to have some of that home atmosphere. Ananda, you were talking about atmosphere right there. I mentioned this yesterday on Talking Galaxy. I have heard through a couple different sources that Lars will be back in the stands for the next match, so expect them to be back there. Diego was talking about how the team has watched a lot of video on Tijuana, but ultimately how these games are won on the field, not on paper or in the video room, and that since they're at home, they especially need to play like they're at home, and that they like we've mentioned a bunch of times, they need to begin well, because there's a little margin for error, or else they're going to be behind the curve. But again, Edgar, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to break your heart, but Diego likes the format. He says
he has to. He has
I mean,
to. This team has to. They have nothing else to play for. What do you mean? Nothing else to play for. They have to give their fan base something to go to the games for.
Absolutely.
This is something that everybody's gonna cut the clip. Oh, we like this tournament, bro. We fucking hate this tournament. My bad.
He got passionate. I love that.
Remember, this is after dark, guys. This is a simulcast. This is after dark.
This is like
dale.
You have to now. Especially when you're a player that wants to play not just for your career but for the pride of the team that you're playing for. We got to try to perform in this tournament. We have to say things like this. We have to get not just the people that are following our club,
you got to get people
in the locker room. In the locker room, we got to get them hyped up. Hey, this is the tournament. We have to go for it. Let's go for it. We love it. We love the tournament now.
It was the Diego. It was the Diego equivalent of you and your boys just getting like all psyched up before you go out on Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
Just like pushing each other, like, let's go.
Hey, B-Loves, Diego's gonna clip that right now and he's gonna post it tomorrow right before the locker room, right before the guys come out. So there you go.
All right.
I hope that means that Diego is watching. Shout out Diego if you are watching. Mad good luck to you in the tournament, man. And come on, please. You know where to find us. But guys, Diego was on, and like you said, he has to say these things, but he's at least saying them convincingly. He's saying them well. And we were talking to Peyton about this on talking analysis yesterday. How Diego is that kind of focal point in the locker room that the team kind of looks towards. So it's good that he's kind of setting that tone. It is what it is, whether it's state propaganda or like state run media, or the official party line that he's expected to say. Like I said, he's saying it well. Greg spoke as well, talked about the importance of the Houston cancellation and how that kind of messed with their rhythm. What do you guys think about this, guys? He said that it messed with the rhythm, but also it gave them a breather. Do you think this might be used as an excuse if the Galaxy get on the wrong foot? I mean, I said at the top of the show, could this have set them up for failure already for this tournament? Bilos, what do you think?
I think he's being sincere with that answer. Because from the outside perspective, where I see it, they weren't doing bad in these 5 stretch of games. But they weren't doing it. They could have played better, but there's been a lot of key pieces who have stepped up. The main thing for me has been the reintroduction to Marco Royce. This season has been a spectacular season for him, and the fact that the LA Galaxy was able to only concede 1 loss in the last 5 matches, and then heading into a possible win that could have been in Houston, it may have deterred their momentum. But I also like the fact that they're able to rest and be able to prepare for this tournament that's coming up. That's a very big thing for us. Well, for me, at least for me now. And I hope there's a lot of Galaxy fans that feel that way now about this tournament in particular, because we suck now. So he's just being honest. And I like him being honest. And like I've said before, after that 2024 championship, I have nothing bad to say about Greg Vanney. He is our savior. Let's go, baby.
All right. I like the energy. I like the conviction. You said that with your full chest and you're owning it. I love it. Edgar, the same kind of question. Do you think this could potentially, throw off the Galaxy's rhythm? We've seen, that weather delay in Colorado, them come out and play one of their worst matches of the year. With this one, they head out to Houston. They wait around forever. They don't get to play. Then they have to travel back. So on the day they travel back, they can't, obviously that throws off their schedule. And then they can't train the next day in the correct way. And then that leads to this tournament. Do you think this is going to be used as kind of maybe like a get out of jail free card if they don't have success?
It makes me laugh that somebody's complaining about not getting to play a game in Houston in July when it's 100% humidity out there and you're
That's
like
true.
dying at the half. You need oxygen, right? Pumped into the locker room. That's just funny. And the whole rhythm thing. It's like, buddy, how are you going to complain about maintaining a certain rhythm when you're going to go from playing Major League Soccer to this completely different tournament against Liga MX teams? That doesn't make any sense. I just think that they should be glad that they have the opportunity to give injured players an opportunity to rest and then to prepare for something that's completely different from what you've been doing the entire season. It gives you a little bit more time to do your homework and prepare. Um, Marco Roach is like inside that very serious, German heart. There was like a little smile that cracked, a little sunshine, peeked in. That he didn't have to play in that game again in Houston because we saw how he melted against St. Louis last year. In that game where they had to play in the middle of the day.
He was very red.
Let me tell you, I lived in Kansas in 1999, and summers in the Midwest, and especially in the Plain States, when you get all that heat coming up from the Gulf, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I can't even begin to describe how horrible it is when night falls. And in here in Southern California, we expect it to get nice and cool, and it just gets hotter and more humid. And every time you take a breath, insects fly into your face, and it's just it's not good, man.
So like that reporter. You guys know that the famous YouTube clip where the guy is like reporting on the side of the road and a fly comes into his mouth and he starts going off.
Oh my god!
No, it's great.
Hilarious.
No, I haven't seen
great.
it, but
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the classic early YouTube
algorithm hasn't hit me with
videos.
that one yet, Rob.
Oh man, it's so good.
Algorithm hasn't worked on me in that one yet.
Next, you're gonna tell me you guys have not seen Letarian Milton either, which is a darn shame. Anyway, let's get back to some Galaxy talk. The Galaxy's first match is against Tijuana. In 3 all-time League Cup matches played at the Digs, the Galaxy holds a 0-2-1 record, and 5 all-time League Cup matches played under the current format, which began in 2023. They hold a 1-3-1 record. And the last League Cup match played at the Digs, the Galaxy pulled out a 5-4 penalty kick shootout win over Chivas de Guadalajara. The furthest they've ever gone is the round of 32. And in 2 all-time meetings between the Galaxy and Club Tijuana, the series is tied 1-1-0. Last meeting, or in the first meeting, rather, the Galaxy earned a 1-0 win. That was back in 2014. The second time that they met was in the CONCACAF Champions League. In the first leg, Tijuana wins 4-2. Second leg, Galaxy wins 1-0. Not enough to go through, however. Heading into this tournament, in the last 8 matches, dating back to May 31st, guys, the Galaxy holds a record of 3-2-3. We were already talking about Marco Royce being perhaps smiling inside his little German heart there that he didn't have to play that Houston match. Well, he gets a little bit more rest, and good on him because the Galaxy have been relying on him a lot. He's gotten 2 goals and 5 assists in his last 7 matches played. Mateus Nascimento as well has chipped in with 6 goal contributions in 8 matches. But this is a match that, depending on which Galaxy team comes out, they might need more than Marco Royce and Nascimento to step up. We've seen the Galaxy at points play really, really good soccer this year. At points, we've seen them shoot themselves in the foot. They'll need to be pretty good. Tijuana isn't one of the best Liga MX sides, but they are respectable. Last match was a 1-1 draw at home to Juarez. Before that was a 3-1 away loss to America, and before that it was 1-0 win at home over Querétaro in the Apertura opener. At the moment, they're 10th in the league play on 4 points after 3 games. Edgar, like you were saying, they just got their second half of their season underway, or beginning of the season. I'm not really sure. Clausura, Apertura. Apertura. So they just got the Apertura underway. They're just getting going. In the Clausura, they didn't do too hot. But they at least avoided those relegation places. They were 13th on 19 points in 17 games. So far this year, Kevin Castaneda has created the most big chances for Tijuana with 8, and Jose Zuniga has the most shots on target. He's averaging 1.1 shots per game. They have scored 8 goals in their last 5 matches. Ananda, let's go ahead and talk really quick about who we could see for the Galaxy featuring here, and specifically something that we brought up earlier is that a certain injured Spanish superstar that loves to beef with our good friend Profe Alex on Twitter is included in this roster. Why do you think he's included, Edgar?
Well, since he got injured, since he suffered the injury way back in December, and then we had the surgery, all the prognostications pointed at his return coming in late July, early to mid-August. And folks, we have gone from, hope he gets better. Oh, look, he's getting better. Oh, look, he's back in training. Oh my God, he actually in full contact training to it's happening, boys. It's finally here. It's like Christmas in, August. We're probably most likely going to see him play at some point at some facility during this tournament. I don't want him starting. I think they should still keep keep him in bubble wrap until later sometime this MLS season. But at least if he gets a few minutes, that would be really really exciting and be like a ray of sunshine, which has been a pretty dreary season. And it also would be a great opportunity to see how players like Mateus Nascimento would react to having somebody like Riqui Puig pulling the strings and bringing a sense of calm and normalcy to his wingers, who can then just focus on trying to create some chaos in the 18 and maybe whipping in some passes into Mateus Nascimento, who could suddenly find himself feasting on that kind of service. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Riqui Puig coming back. I'd rather see him come back in a U.S. Open Cup match. Sorry, I gotta stick to my guns. I'd rather see him come back, in a match against another MLS opponent.
I'm starting to get the impression you don't like the League's Cup.
Nah, we'll give it away.
Okay, and I just wanted to confirm.
But something interesting I wanted to know, because I was listening to you talking about Club Tijuana. They've only scored 1 goal this season, which is weird, in 3 matches. Ooh. The other 2 goals that are attributed to them were own goals.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of interesting. So they're having a hard time scoring right now. And I did. We weren't able to get somebody from Club Tijuana to join us on our podcast, but I did get an interesting little scouting report from Cesar Hernandez, who covers the Club Tijuana for Cholos podcast and ESPN. He messaged me. I asked him, "Can you please give me some information?" He said, "Sure. I think it'll be a 1-1 match that it goes to penalties. Although Galaxy have had their issues, the same can be said of Tijuana as well, and their attack hasn't exactly been brilliant." He said, "Keep an eye on 16-year-old Gilberto Mora. He's the best prospect in Mexican soccer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he steps up once again." So there's a little insight for you guys right there.
Yeah, no, for sure. That I was talking about Mora yesterday with Talking Galaxy and how he's that Efrain Alvarez archetype. Yeah.
There he is.
Whoa, I just had a momentary shut off, and then it came all the way back. It was the damnedest thing. Anyway, I was talking about the Efra archetype and how Gilberto Mora is kind of the jewel of Mexican soccer at the moment, and he will be definitely wanting to make some headlines in this match against the Galaxy. So look for him to try to make an influence. Guys, Ananda is, him. He's a stats man, right? So he will go ahead and tell us what stats we have to look out for, because we are going to get some more receipts from you, and we are going to get a prediction. And then after you guys, because we're good hosts, and we're gonna let our guests go first. Ananda, then he's gonna go because I went first last time.
Yeah. Well, actually, Edgar brings up a good point, and I wanted to preface the stats portion of this with like, remember, there's only been 3 games so far this year in their new season, and it looks like, Rob, and this is something I picked up on the press conference, just listening to it, as we were getting on here. But Greg brought up something pretty interesting in that they also have a fairly new coach, and so a lot of the numbers that we're going to see from last year are going to be a little bit different. And last year, just to kind of summarize the stats, I mean, I can just pull them up just as reference, but last year they weren't a very good defensive team. And if you look at the bottom there, actually conceded, they were number 1 in the league. That's not a good thing if you're talking about actually conceded, right? They only had 2 clean sheets out of 17, goals conceded per match 2.1. But the one thing that Greg talked about was this year, their new coach, Loco Abreu, he's looking to get this team more organized, get this team more compact. They play in a 4-5-1, or they've been playing in that 4-5-1. If you guys remember, if you guys watched the Gold Cup, Panama made that system very, very famous. That's just a deep, deep block. They defend in their own half, and they look for moments either on the counter or on the set piece. And so that's at least what the tape is showing Greg and the staff. Now it'll be interesting in this tournament. Will they resort to that, or will they be a little bit more attacking given the situation, right, with the rules and the rules changes and the format changes and everything with Leagues Cup? So I think we should expect that. I think we should expect this to be a tight game. So I'm not surprised, Edgar, that your colleague there told you that it was going to be sort of that tight score line. So I think that's something we've got to look out for, man. And it'll be interesting to see how both teams respond to that.
We have a random question from maybe Ant. He says, did one of the Nag boys work the Galactic Carnival last year?
Wait,
definitely Bryant.
Inside joke? No.
Bryant
okay, what was the question again?
Did one of the Nag boys work the Galactic Carnival last year?
I mean, maybe. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me last year.
Who knows? I wish we could help you out with that. All right, so let's go to the important questions here and the receipts again here.
Don't bring those up.
No, we got to do receipts. We got to do them. For the Galaxy to win, they must ... Chat. You know what it is. Start dropping them in. Let us know for the Galaxy to win what they have to do. For the Galaxy to win, they must ... B-Loves, we'll start with you. For the Galaxy to win, they must ... I
think take advantage of Royce's form and what he has going with Nastimiento. The fact that they've been actually
Nastimiento, yes,
he's the nasty man. I know he doesn't score a lot, but the stuff that he does off the ball, and it just what he could do in the box to create crowd. What him and Royce could do, the nasty man and the veteran Marco Royce could do, I think it's going to be a lot of what opens up for the LA Galaxy. I know we have DPs like Peck and Painsa, but they haven't really had a great season thus far. I know in these last 5 matches, everybody's kind of been stepping it up, and I hope that kind of trend continues going up to these Leagues Cup. But for me, the key is going to be Marco and the nasty man, and I hope they
Nastimiento. I love it.
The nasty man. He is nasty though. He is nasty.
Oh man, if he had scored that back heel, it was pretty. If he had scored that, Jesus. Edgar, what about you, man? For the Galaxy to win, they must ...
We're talking the match against just Tijuana or in general?
Just Tijuana.
Just Tijuana. Yeah.
Oh, I think Galaxy is a better team than Tijuana in general. I think that the fact that Tijuana's had such a difficult time trying to score goals, Galaxy needs to starve them completely. I know it's been hard, right? Our defense is so weird. It's so Jekyll and Hyde, where on a good day, you would think that these guys would be able to put a solid performance in there, but I really see Tijuana on a level of a team like Sporting Kansas City, where I think Galaxy can really limit their opportunities to score, and hopefully not have Maya score an own goal, and Galaxy can create some chaos in the box. because I feel like Nascimento, he's at a point in the season where he's really living up to some of the expectations that, at least here at NAG, we had early on. Um, when we heard that he was going to be coming over to the Galaxy, I contacted a friend of mine that lives out there named Leo. We've had him on before. We had him on last year before Peck came over, and he told us how amazing Peck was. He's like, this guy is going to be amazing. So I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. So I had him come on to speak about Nascimento, and he said something similar. He said Nascimento could be like Peck, but he's very raw. He needs play, and he's not gonna be lights out like Peck, but he's gonna make a difference. And the more he plays, the better he's gonna get. And we're seeing that. I asked him today too. I was like, what do you think of Nascimento so far? And he's like, he's progressing just like I had hoped.
Nascimento.
Nasty.
And so I think he's going to be instrumental in this tournament. So having him go in there, and I really, really do hope that Peck and Painto play with a little bit more calm. I feel like they're trying so hard to make things happen. I know Peck got that goal in that last match against LAFC. He thought he had that second one, which was later attributed to Nascimento. But they both need to just chill a little bit and let the goals come to them. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ananda? For the Galaxy to win.
I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first, Bob. You've been asking all the questions today. You're on the screen there. You're on the big screen.
Well, that's definitely you doing the prediction first, and for damn sure.
This guy.
Well, I'm just gonna quote Apostle Diego. He said that they need to have fun, que necesitan divertirse, and it's like one of those often used phrases in English. Oh, enjoy your football, right? But it's so true, man. I mean, like at points this season, this team has not looked like they were having fun out there, like they enjoyed playing this game. You could tell that what was happening on and off the field was weighing on them. And hopefully in this match, they can go and do what Diego said and just go out and have fun, enjoy that football, put on a good show for their crowd. Because if they go out and do that, and they turn into those young lads that fell in love with this game at some point and started playing just for the love, not for anything else, then they're gonna go out and play free, play brave, give their crowd something to be proud about, and probably come away with 3 points. So I mean, that's what I think they need to do, man. They must play with joy. They must play with just like that heart of a child. Have fun.
Yeah, well, I'm going to build on that then, because I think that's a good starting point for this. And again, this is a clean slate, right? I think everybody's talking about this as a clean slate for the Galaxy. It's an opportunity to forget about the league and just focus on winning a trophy in this tournament, right? Even against all the odds, again, just because of the new rules and everything. But I'm going to build on your point, Rob, which is I think they need to play with joy while staying fully committed, showing desire and heart for the full 90 minutes plus injury time. If there's one thing that this tournament has showed me in its early stages so far, early doors, is that these Liga MX teams do not quit. They play the full 90 minutes plus injury time. And what has the one Achilles heel with the Galaxy been this year, Rob, is not managing the game for the full 90 minutes. And I got to say, plus injury time, because we've seen those moments in injury time bite us.
You spoke it into existence, man. Oh no.
We just saw, I'm good juju out there. But we just saw what happened, right, with RSL, for example. So we need to stay committed. And I think the desire and the heart and the passion, I think that will spill over to the crowd. I think that will lift the crowd up, will animate us, right? Because those are things that us as fans, we respond to, whether it's a sliding challenge, sprinting 30 yards to get that challenge, or to help a teammate, or do a beautiful piece of skill on the right half space. So I think those are little things that, because they need the crowd, man. I know it's been a really tough go at it for this team off the pitch, but they need that 12th man. And if we want any sort of success, we need to figure out a way to make the Digs a fortress again, but they've got to stay committed for the 90 minutes. I know it's a tall task for this team, but that's what they got to do to win it, man.
And mistake free for 90 minutes. And that's another tall task for them. Yeah. Ananda, I know that you and Dr. Riquinho had lunch earlier today where you went over betting odds So would you be kind and share those with us? And my
Overlooking.
regards to Dr. Raquinho.
Yeah, so Galaxy minus 105 right now. So that's about a 50%. Of course, we're the quote unquote home team, right? As we've been saying. Tijuana plus 210. That's probably in the low 20s or in the mid 20% tile range. Draw again at plus 300 for all you betting folks. Of course, bet responsibly. I don't condone it, but if you want to take your chances, there you go. But Rob, one of the things that I wanted to bring up though was because back to the earlier point on what the Galaxy need to do. Some really good ones here in chat, so I want to put them on the screen. So Eric Hernandez, shout out, man. He says keep playing. For the Galaxy to win, they need to just keep playing how they're playing, trust each other, try not to commit mistakes, just like you said, Papa, because we lose off our mistakes, not the other team being dominant.
Truth.
Ain't that the
Absolutely
truth?
True.
100%. Let's see. Joe 13 Cool says G's need to shut down Mora, kind of like Arcel and Luna, and score goals, especially with this tournament's rules. That's definitely going to be a matchup to watch. 100%. And Romizes says G's need to relax and play as a team. With the absence of Riqui, I feel like they want to step up individually, and it's not coming out the way they hope. This is going back to Edgar's point a little bit about some of these guys just trying way too hard. And they need to play as a championship team, having fun for sure. So there's some good ones out there.
I just want to add one thing else. Club Tijuana has never won a Leagues Cup match in 5 opportunities. So there's an opportunity to pile on the misery for them.
Trap game.
No, man. Why you gotta put that view on me, Bobby Boucher? What's wrong with you?
Bobby Boucher.
Well, let's get to our predictions. Then, I might reverse that. So.
Oh, man. All right, cool. Well, normally we kind of end things on score predictions, but we do have one big question after score predictions for you both. Besides, can I get your number? Yeah, exactly.
You have it already, baby. You have it.
Exactly. Hey, yo. Why didn't you been calling me? Anyway, score predictions.
Edgar jinxed us.
No, that was Ananda who did it.
Yeah, no.
I tried the reverse jinx, guys.
We have receipts. It was Ananda. He brought up the dreaded phrase.
It wasn't me.
Anyways, but all right, Shaggy. Let's let him go ahead and pick their score predictions. Edgar, let's go with you first, man. In the case of the LA Galaxy versus Tijuana, who will come out on top? It's a winnable game. They haven't won in 5 matches, just like you said. Can the Galaxy add to that misery?
Oh yeah, I think Galaxy can take this game 2-1. I don't think it's gonna be as comfortable as me saying it. Galaxy likes to make things very dramatic, and I think it's either going to be a close match, and then it's going to be a goal like towards the end of the game, and then everybody's going to scramble to try to make sure it doesn't end up like with Real Salt Lake and Club America. But I think LA Galaxy is stronger. I think they're on an upward trend right now, and they're in a better situation, in a better state to take this win. But then again, how many times this season have we said the same thing with LA Galaxy heading into matches that are winnable? Have we said it? I mean, you mentioned Orlando. I mentioned that against Orlando. We mentioned it against Houston. We mentioned it so many different times. And then the guys go out and surprise us. But I really do think that they turn the corner. And I think they're on the right track right now. And even if he's not going to play right away, having Riqui Puig back in training, I think is a huge emotional boost for this team that you can't quantify.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
In regulation, right, Edgar? In regulation, 2-1?
In regulation, 2-1, yes.
3 points.
B-Loves, what you think? What is your prediction for this match? Do the Galaxy come out on top? Are you going to be contrarian and say, you know what, Tijuana might take it?
Oh, of course not, because that was very persistent in saying that this should be a cup that the LA Galaxy should go for, especially right now that we're having a very bad season. And I also want to touch on something that Edgar mentioned, which is Riqui Puig being just on the bench. I think that gives the team an extra confidence boost to perform in these type of tournaments. On top of that, like I mentioned earlier, the fact that Royce is on a very good hot streak right now. The nasty man is finding his groove.
Nasty.
It seems that this is a tournament where they could take serious in the way of just coming into form for maybe next season. Even if they don't win this one, you go all out for this one and see where you're at competitively. Of course, I'm going to want these guys to win it. Probably won't happen. But if we can sneak past the group stage, I think we could shoot for the moon. And against Tijuana, let's be the illogical one, 10-0. Let's fucking
you and Eric Hernandez, man. There you go,
baby. We gotta take some dumb shit.
All right.
Can you imagine, Rob?
That
Our instant reaction tomorrow at the digs, guys. We are here reporting live from the digs. 10-0.
If it's 10-0, like there's no way we would be calm or rational. Even if it's 5-0, we would be just kind of buck nutty. Just you calling Matez Nascimento has me think. Yeah, Nasty Mento has me thinking of Romeo Santos at the beginning of all the songs. So nasty. So nasty. Man, we definitely got to come up with the Romeo Santos.
We need that sound. We need that sound bite too. We need the JP one, and then we need the Romeo one.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. All right. Well, 10-0, 2-1. Ananda, what you thinking?
50-0. Damn.
Yeah, 10-0 sounds about right. No, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go 3-1. I don't know. I feel confident about this one. I think the players are gonna go into this with less pressure. Like I said, this is a clean state. I think mentally they're gonna see it that way too, and I hope that shows itself on the pitch. What I'm hoping though is a fast start. Hope these guys gets out of the block quick. We need an early goal. I think that would do a lot to settle the nerves. I think the longer we don't score, the longer it's a 0-0 game, the longer it plays into Tijuana's hands, and that they can steal one, right? Let's not get it to penalties. We need the 3 points. This is other than Santos Laguna, but Rob, that comment that you made on Talking Galaxy there, it's still seeping in my mind. We might share it towards the end of the show, but I think this is, if you look at the schedule, this is the one that we've got to get some, max points out of, I think. So 3-1 for me, man. And sneaky take for me, I think Mocuevas is going to start at right back tomorrow.
Oof. That's not a sneaky. He should be starting now. I'm going to say that. I love Mickey Yamane, but what Cuevas did in that Tráfico match, the fact that he was able to just ping that to the target, that shows you already that he's your starter next season. I don't see any other proof.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got to be shown a little bit more time. And we've heard from Greg that that's going to be the case. I guess I'm the only one left, right?
Yep.
10-0, 10-0, 10-0.
Well, I see this comment here by Eddie Nags, and says 10-0. We do the show naked next time.
Oh my God.
This is truly after dark.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
let's go.
I mean, he's already naked watching this as he protects.
we figured you out, Eddie Nags.
Oh my God.
So if the Galaxy are like 5-0 at the half tomorrow, I mean, all bets are off at that point. Get the tangas ready. All right, I'm calling a 2-1 win as well. I think the Galaxy have enough in their locker to go ahead and get this win. They're better on paper. They've been on an upward trend, like a couple of you have mentioned. So yeah, I think a 2-1. I think we're pretty much on agreement. The Galaxy win this first match. Some of us are dreamers like John Lennon and thinking 10-0. Which is not bad. Shoot for the stars. And some of us are calling that 2-1. This was the important question though that I wanted to ask after the prediction. So the Galaxy, we've talked about have a chance to win this trophy, right? Let's talk about how we've talked about how difficult it is to win. It's a hard margin of error. But somehow, if they do get through the next round and they somehow do get through the knockout phases and they win this tournament against all probabilities. They take out, they take out Cruz Azul in the final, or they take out Club America in the final, or one of the big Mexican clubs, Tigres or something like that. And it's that glory-filled day, and everybody's like crying and lifting the trophy and stuff like that. If that happens, is the season somehow saved? Would you consider the season a success? D-Loves, what do you think? Trophy, championship spot,
100%. The fact that we haven't been able to get a win from the start of the season to like 15, 16 games in as the defending champions, to now being able to compete for a trophy that puts you back into contention to a tournament that should be one of your priorities as a big club, I think that's a major win. I know we want to go back to back as spoiled LA Galaxy fans who want to win everything, right? We've shouted from the top of the mountains that we want to be the champions for the last 10 years. Now we're finally champions. We haven't a shed season. Let's perform in something that actually gives us more prestige to our club, what it means to be the biggest in MLS. And if we end up winning this, I mean, that's another one in the cabinet, and I'm all for it, 100%.
Another trophy in the cabinet. I'm actually all for it as well. Edgar, I've been meaning to tell you this all pod. You look stunning in that purple and gold. I love it.
Don't tell him that.
Oh, he just, man, you and the cheese. Anyways.
Anyway,
we call it foreign blue and gold, please.
All right, I'm gonna hit you with the same question, man. If somehow, some way, the confetti rains down, the Galaxy pulls out a stunning victory in the final, they win that trophy. Has the season been worth it? Is it a success? Is it saved?
I'm gonna call this. If that happens, I'm gonna call the season an aberration. And by definition, an aberration is an act of departing from the right, normal, or usual course, which is the seasons are an aberration as it is already. So you're gonna go from absolute disaster to, hey, maybe things aren't so bad, because Galaxy has already, at this point, they've already matched the point total for the worst ever MLS season, which was DC United, where they only had 16 points all season. Galaxy's there now, so they have 10 matches left to get away from that. So it's already, they're not gonna have that hung over them already. It's an opportunity to do something with these last 10 matches, and then you have the Leagues Cup. But if they do win, I mean, what the hell? What were what happened? Where was this team during the first half of the season? I know we mentioned how like everything everything that could go wrong went wrong, but where were these guys? And all of a sudden things are clicking and getting better. And then the funny thing would be, yeah, they win Leagues Cup, and then they go back to MLS play, and they go back to losing. So that would drive me nuts. Would I welcome a trophy? I mean, it's a trophy. I would rather prefer an Open Cup. I mean, reiterate that Open Cup, which ties every era of football in this country's history, I think has a lot more weight, and I think we should. I will not stop talking about that on my bully pulpit about how much I think the Open Cup is so important. League Cup to me is like a made-up plastic tournament that's just a cash grab, and it just happens to have all these teams. Of course, you're going to have drama. Of course, you're going to have teams that are going to want to win it, because you're not going to go in it not to win it. But if Galaxy wins, fine. They'll put it in the trophy case. I'm not going to boast about it personally. That's just my take.
Ananda, are you going to celebrate the Leagues Cup win? Big ups if they win it. Is it going to become that huge trophy, like, yeah, what up, son, we just won the Leagues Cup?
Well, every time we talk about the subject about like trophies and stuff, I always go back to when we had Lex on, shout out LA Galaxy 310, and he says that we're going to think about these as fans as Mickey Mouse Cups until we win it, or until we're in a final, right? Once we're holding that trophy, it's like, I am going to celebrate. And you better bet that LA Galaxy fans are going to be loud against the Leva fans online if we win a trophy, right? And you think about the Bants like on that level. So I think any chance to win a trophy from that perspective, yeah, I mean, of course we're going to celebrate it with chest, right? Now, I think in terms of the larger picture for the team, I mean, look, a trophy is a trophy. I think for me personally, gone are the days where I can just like not care or poo-poo a tournament just because it is what it is, whatever that may be. Because I think over time, like, look, it's a competition. It's an ability to win something. And what's the aim of elite sport? It's to win, right? It's to continue to convince people that LA Galaxy is the most storied franchise in MLS. And by the way, a win or just being in the top 3 or being in a final will guarantee us being in the CCC again next year, which at this point right now in the league, I don't think we have a pathway of doing that, right? And so if we want to keep that status, this is the point that B-Loves made earlier, if we want to keep that status as a big club, we have to take this tournament seriously and hopefully at least get a shot at the final. So
beautifully done with that Kaiser jersey. I love that jersey. I should say.
Thank you, sir.
Baby, Orlando Pirates.
Ooh, boo.
Ooh. You know, I've talked about how I want the Galaxy to take this tournament seriously, and with Greg's comments, with Diego's comments, I really feel like they are. Diego said that they've been talking about these games a lot and that they're ready. I think they're ready too. I think we've all called that they're going to win this first match. Edgar, you were on with you know, some folks from Cruz Azul. I actually think that the Galaxy are going to do the incredible and pull out a win, right? And then they will lose to Santos Laguna.
Oh. Nah, don't do that.
Oh my God.
It would be like the Galaxy though. Like,
yeah,
like
it
no,
would.
like
It would be.
it would. It
Yeah.
really would.
Come down to the last match.
Yep.
Yeah, they need
when the
they go
pressure's
into
on,
that
yeah.
match needing 1 point to go ahead and get through the next round, and they drop it.
Just like we needed what was it last year against Houston? 1 point
tie.
result, a tie to get in that
to
first
be in
seed.
first place. Yeah. But
yeah,
it did us a favor because we still won that championship.
that's true. It gave the Galaxy.
It all worked out. Luckily,
Yeah,
it worked
You know
out.
what's funny is that the both of the ladies from Las Azulinas, they both agreed that Galaxy should definitely easily handle Santos. And like, because I asked them, what do you guys think? How will El Galaxy do against Tijuana and how they're gonna do against Santos? And they're like, well, we I think they both said that Santos. I mean, the game against Tijuana is going to be pretty tight. They think Galaxy could win though, but if it goes to penalties, right? That if it goes penalties against Cruz Azul, they think that Cruz Azul might lose that match because their goalkeeper isn't the greatest at penalties. But they did mention, they both agreed very easily that Galaxy should definitely take out Santos. And then that's when you were like, when you mentioned that, I was like, oh dear God, no, please no, don't give us that glimmer of hope and then just pull out the rug, right?
Yeah.
But
somebody, I'm not going to mention who, mentioned trap game earlier. I mean, Santos for me has trap game written all over it. Only 3 wins in the last, I believe I mentioned 30 or 29 last night. And it's just been a terrible time for them. Even, I mean, the Galaxy have had a bad season. Well, Santos has had a couple of bad seasons. So naturally that means trap game right there, right?
But boys, calma. 3 points tomorrow. Let's get business. Let's handle business tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
tomorrow.
what
Damn
one
it,
game?
Rob, I thought we were good, bro. We're gonna win tomorrow. I thought we were good.
One game at a time. Oh yeah, tomorrow. Yes.
But not Sunday. I'll agree with that one. Nah.
One of the things I forgot to mention, and that should be worth mentioning, is that Club Tijuana captain Joe Corona, former G.
Yep,
making his return to the dig.
Just for a fat L. Let's fucking go.
And on that bombshell,
Joe Benny, if you're listening, once a G, also G, and you're welcome.
We love you, dog. Yeah, we love you.
Well, come on the show, man. Come on the show. All right, guys, we're about to head out of here. So before we go, you guys can see the tags on there, but really quick for all of us here, we really, really appreciate you being on the simulcast. We love doing this with the Nag boys. El Último Sueño. We've done a couple of these already, and they're to mark occasions. We've done an El Tráfico version. This is our League's Cup version. Even though Edgar hates the League's Cup, he was nice enough to come and tell us about how much he hates the League's Cup. But at the end of the day, we did find out that he's like, if the Galaxy win it, he's okay with it. So. Yeah, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it too. I think we're all okay with it. I think that's at the heart of the matter is that at the end of the day, if the Galaxy win this tournament, everyone's okay with it, and they should be going out to win this tournament. It is a pathway to the Champions Cup. So, boys, where can the people find you? B-Loves, let us know.
You guys can find me as Bryant Nags on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can also find us every Sunday evening on News Across the Galaxy on YouTube. We do a midweek show on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Follow News Across the Galaxy on Twitter. Snapchat? Do we have a Snapchat?
Yeah. Carrier Pigeon? MySpace?
Carrier Pigeon? Storks? Instagram, TikTok. Wherever you guys can find the
Foursquare, MySpace.
All that stuff. Wherever you guys can find us. News Across the Galaxy.
Man.
And thank you guys for hey, before we leave, you guys better get these guys to 700 or the LA Galaxy is not going to get to Leagues Cup final. And they're going to blow up in our face.
There's your hype man right there. Look at that.
I like that, but then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man,
unsubscribe now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Subscribe twice.
Don't do it exactly. Tell everybody. Gas is gonna go all the way because he subscribed. Guys, Edgar, go ahead and hook us up with that good info. Where can the folks find you?
Well, like you heard, Brian, you can find us at News Across the Galaxy at nag_news. For me, you guys can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram as Edgar Nags, as you see right there. My Instagram content is a lot different than what I have on Twitter and Blue Sky because I interview people, not just Galaxy fans, but fans from different teams and different leagues. And it's always interesting to get their perspective on things. I just interviewed a father and son combo who came all the way from Germany to watch Marco Reus, and they actually got to meet him, which was amazing. And you get to hear them talking about what their experience was like being at the dig from their perspective.
And that's a really, really fun story. I mean, it's, Marco Reus has been around the world, but it is still hard to be away from home. And so it must have been great getting a couple of compatriots to come say hello and travel all that way to come say hello. That's really, really special. Guys, I've enjoyed our special time. Hopefully we have more special times in the future. Ananda, anything else to add before we got on out here?
Just want to say thank you to everyone in chat for joining on this special simulcast, of course, with News Across the Galaxy.
Wu-Tang.
Keep on nagging, y'all, and let's get that 3 points tomorrow.
Only one left. Get them to 700. Hurry up. Click that subscribe button.
Yes.
Right
even
now.
if it's bot, even if you need to make bot accounts, you just do it. Yeah.
Oh man, we definitely getting canceled after this one. So guys, thank you so much. Next on this humble little pod tomorrow, we'll bring you like we mentioned at the top of the show, there was no pod tomorrow. We'll be at the digs covering that match, but we'll bring you a post-match instant reaction and then coverage from the press conference. Then we'll be back with you on Monday, August 4th, to react to Sunday's match against Cruz Azul and give you a mini prep before Santos Laguna. If you're here, it's because you found us at lacunagalaxiana.com. That's the tag on pretty much everything. Go ahead and show the Nag boys a little love as well. Go ahead and hit them subs, hit them likes on their page.
Yes, sir.
Without further ado, guys, only one thing left to say besides thank you so much to the Nag boys for being here with us. Here we go. Jesus.